Today you are you, and that is truer than true. There is no one alive who is youer than you. This is a quote from Dr. Seuss's book, Happy Birthday to You. It is just one of many of hundreds of famous Dr. Seuss quotes. Dr. Seuss books have probably been a big part of your grandparents, your parents, and even your own childhood. And I wouldn't be surprised if 10 years from now you're reading Dr. Seuss books to your own children. Dr. Seuss has always interested me, and through my extensive research on him, I've learned a lot about his life and his background. And today we're even going to take a peek into his personal life. It all began on March 2nd, 1904, when he was born in Springfield, Massachusetts. His family were ancestors of Germany, so it's only fitting that they were brewmasters of Springfield and they owned the family brewery, or the town brewery. Because of this, they had a lot of money. However, with the onset of Prohibition, the brewery got shut down and the family wealth dwindled. But Dr. Seuss did come from a family of perseverance and hard work, and it wasn't long before the Seuss family was back on top. With a lot of money to play with, after high school, Dr. Seuss pursued a college education at Dartmouth University in New Hampshire. Dartmouth is a private, expensive, Ivy League university, where he originally intended on becoming a professor. While there, he got an amazing opportunity. He became the editor-in-chief of Dartmouth's humor magazine, Jack-O-Lantern. This was actually the first time Dr. Seuss used Seuss to signature his works. Unfortunately, this opportunity was cut very short because Dr. Seuss and his friends were caught boozing in the dorms. Discouraged, he left Dartmouth to pursue a full-time career as neither a professor nor an author, but rather as a cartoonist. So his first cartoonist job was also his first big break into children's literature, thanks to Vanguard Press, who offered him a contract to illustrate pictures for a children's collection called Boners. And I know this sounds ridiculous, but in 1931, boners had a way different meaning. It actually meant bloopers or outtakes. So in the end, what Dr. Seuss was actually doing is he drew 22 illustrations of, bloopers for children to enjoy. The pocketbook of boners is what really got Dr. Seuss going in his career. It got his name out there, and it's really what made him decide that he really liked children's literature. So it was shortly after this that he wrote his first book, And to Think I Saw It on Mulberry Street. It was published in 1937 by Vanguard Press, which was actually a huge feat for Dr. Seuss because, unbelievably, To Think I Saw It on Mulberry Street was rejected 27 times prior to Vanguard Press. But shortly after that, more of his books were published and they just started flying off the shelf as the world fell in love with Dr. Seuss. According to Dr. Seuss' biography, by the end of his career, he had written and illustrated 44 children's books, which had then been translated into over 15 different languages. His books were also the foundation for 11 children's TV specials, 1 Broadway musical, and more than 1 full-length feature motion picture. Among all of these achievements, he also received many awards, including 2 Academy Awards, 2 Emmy Awards, a Peabody Award, and a Pulitzer Prize. All of these awards definitely confirm that he was a very talented man. So you must be thinking, oh, his family must be so proud of him. I bet he reads his books to his own children. Well, you're wrong. Kathy Landon of the FW reported that Dr. Seuss actually didn't have any kids of his own, and in fact, he didn't like kids. He was rather scared of them, actually. He was once reported to have said, "You have them, I'll amuse them." That always struck me as funny because, he dedicated his life and his career to children, and he didn't even like them. Well, okay, so no kids, but, at least he had all of his, fame to share with his, lovely wife and his great marriage, right? Wrong again. Because, also according to the Dr. Seuss biography, towards the end parts of his marriage, he was having an affair and cheating on his wife. It's worse than that. The mistress was a lifelong mutual friend of the couple, so she had to see this mistress all the time, they hung out, they were friends. And even worse than that is Dr. Seuss's wife was already battling cancer. So, unfortunately, in October of 1967, the suffering of cancer and the emotional pain caused by Dr. Seuss's affair drove Helen to commit suicide. And to top all of that off, less than 1 year after his wife offed herself, he married the mistress. So, yeah, Dr. Seuss definitely led a very eventful life, good and bad, but nonetheless, he was very talented. It had to end eventually, though, and it did, on October of 1991, where he died at the age of 87. Though he is no longer on this earth, he did leave behind works that will go to live on forever. I grew up reading Dr. Seuss books, and he will never cease to surprise me. Through my research, I hope you enjoyed his life, background, and personal life as much as I did. And I know we're all sad to hear my speech come to a close, but in the words of the great Dr. Seuss himself, don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened.